Well, we've managed to prize them away from those post-match celebrations there, but absolutely delighted to be joined by skipper Jobi McAnuff. Jobi, thank you for joining me, man. What a great second half that was there.
Yeah, not sure where to start really. First half, we actually started okay and felt we were fine, and then just a couple of really sloppy goals from our point of view that we were really disappointed about, and let them get into the game, and made some adjustments at half time that we just couldn't quite get on in the first half. Just trying to push up the pitch a little bit more and squeeze their space down, which would allow the midfield to get a little bit tighter and stop them playing through us, which again we did very well. And we just said if we can just hang in there, nick a goal, then obviously we're going to have a chance. And I thought after that, I mean, the spirit, the energy, the fitness, as we've shown in all the games so far, really came to the fore in the second half. We'd be all right if we could start a game, to be fair.
and of course, it was you managed to get yourself on the score sheet for the first time this season. What a ball from Jordan Thomas and a very composed finish.
Yeah, delighted for him to play a role in the goal. I mean, he's a young boy. He had a few ups and downs in the first half, which he's going to have, and we've got to expect that. We've got to live with it. We've got to help him through it, which I felt we did do. And he's come through the other side, so I'm absolutely buzzing for him. It's all learning. We've got a real good talent there, someone who's going to come and give real competition in that area this season. Lovely ball is something we work on, that run from deep, and the timing was good. He's executed the pass perfectly, and it's just felt nice. The keeper kind of made my decision a little bit for me, and just lifted it, and just was so happy to just see it drop in the net. Buzzing to get my first one for quite a while, actually.
Well, congratulations. But of course, in my opinion, we came out really bright in that first half with a better team, but and then out to obviously come on top after 90 minutes and win it. This is League One opposition. How was it for you and the boys facing that step up in quality? Yeah,
it was a big marker really for us. I mean, they were very, very good last year. I felt they were one of the best teams that we faced. I think that showed in the results and the performances against them last year. And sometimes you come up against teams that are better than you, and we'd happily admit that last season. We feel we're a lot further down the road now. So tonight was a big test for us in that respect. Of course, the result highlights that, but performance-wise, again, for the vast majority of the game, I thought that we really did match them, and I think they'll go well in League One this year. So again, it's a real nice indicator as to our progress. Again, there's still things that we need to work on, we need to iron out, but it should be a massive shot in the arm for us, our ambitions, and what we can do this season.
Oh, for sure. And obviously a lot has been made of how long and how good our pre-season was this year, and one of the first teams in the league to come back to pre-season. But also we came up against both Gillingham and Northampton in League One opposition. It seems to have set us in pretty good stead for this season.
Yeah, I mean, pre-season's always a hard one to gauge in terms of where everyone's at, but one thing is for sure, coming back early, I've been on record as saying, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, but being able to get back in when we did, we understand as players that comes as a cost to the football club. The owners, the chairman, they've been absolutely fantastic in giving us the best chance of having a good season, which we all want, especially off the back of last year, which was difficult at times for various reasons. And they've given us that platform, and as footballers, that's all you can ask for. Now it's up to us to go out there and repay that, really, because we've been treated unbelievably well in difficult circumstances. And again, for us, Nigel's been massive in terms of saying how important a cup run is, obviously for the club and the feel good factor, but of course financially. And we have a responsibility to try and help with that. And we're delighted that we can play some part in getting a bit more money into the football club at what is obviously clearly still a difficult time.
Of course, and obviously Spurs next now in round 3. How difficult was it to put that to the back of your mind as the skipper, to make sure the lads were fully focused on tonight?
I've got to be honest, it wasn't even really spoken about. Maybe Corsi, as a Spurs fan, was probably the only one banging on about it. But he weren't too happy after them the other day. So no, listen, we knew what a tough task tonight was going to be. I think it was if it was a team that maybe we hadn't had such a tough time against recently, we might have been looking a little bit further down the line, but we just couldn't afford to do that with these tonight. And the focus has been spot on. Again, changes. Again, I'll bang on about the strength of the squad. We've had illness. We've been able to play players that, to give them minutes as well. So again, that shows the strength and the shape that we're in. And, we've just got to really keep pushing on and you know, these times, these feelings, you know, we've got to hold on to them and make them last as long as we can.
And one man that I think we should be thankful for tonight again, popping up late on, is Danny Johnson. He started off the season a man on fire, hasn't he?
He has. I thought he was in really good form, you know, just before lockdown and the shutdown. You know, for me, he's a joy to play with. You know, he never stops running. You know, he gives us so much off the ball, and I'm so glad, because often players of that ilk, maybe where they do so much work off the ball, can sometimes neglect the final thing and getting in the box, or they've done so much work elsewhere and maybe they're not where they should be. What he's got at the moment is that real good balance of that graft, that hard work, really sets us off with his pressing, and he's now just found an absolute rich vein of form and can't stop scoring. So, you know, and I've got to be honest, they haven't been easy finishes. You know, he's had some
they've all been really different
really
goals.
Difficult, and his reactions, his composure have been spot on. And again, someone else I'm absolutely delighted with. And again, it's an area of the pitch that we are strong. You know, Louis Dennis came on today, was flying in pre-season. I was really excited to see what he could bring to the table this year. Picked up an injury. He's been fighting his way back. We've got Ruel back, who was obviously a little bit delayed. You know, Jordan Maguire-Drew was incredibly productive last year. So we're in, you know, a strong position, and we've got to utilise those boys up front to go and do the damage.
And a young lad you mentioned just there, Ruel Sotirio. Obviously a slightly slower start to pre-season compared to the rest of the squad, but I thought he should have been on the score sheet tonight, and he was excellent on the ball.
He's just so tenacious. I love Ruel to bits. I always have done. He's got that little bit of devil about him, a little bit of an edge, which for me, all the top players that I've played with you have to have it. He's not physically a massive boy, but he never backs away from a challenge. You know, he'll get the ball. He's very positive. You know, he shows great bravery in terms of driving at people, creating opportunities. You know, and sometimes if it doesn't quite come off, it's very easy for a young lad to take a step back. You know, he goes on and takes the next opportunity to do that. So he's always putting defenders on the back foot. And again, you know, it's taken a little while for him to get up to speed, but I think that's a couple of 90 minutes now that he's got in the tank, and you know, we'll be a lot better for that. And again, just a real good lad that, you know, I'm buzzing that we kept hold of, and you know, I think we've got so much to come from him.
For sure, and we've spoken about Tottenham next in round 3, but I'm sure attention will now fully turn back to league action on Saturday when Mansfield come to Orient. We're going to want to keep that winning run continued, and hopefully another 3 points.
Yeah, another tough game, you know, one that we know, a team that is fancied to be up there this year. So again, for us, you know, another little test, another little chance to show our ambition. And again, I'm massive on, you know, aiming as high as we can. I do believe we need to aim, you know, certainly as high as we can, and have a standard to everything that we do every day. Otherwise you will fall short, you will drop off, you know, nobody wants that, you know. So again, another big test. No one's going to be looking at Spurs yet. Again, we don't know what kind of shape they're going to be in, what kind of team that's going to be when that turns around. So we've got to really focus. The last thing we'd want to do is go out there on Saturday and not put in a performance after tonight. So we'll prepare, we'll recover as best we can. I'll be a bit achy for a couple of days, but all good and ready to rumble on Saturday.
Fantastic. I was going to say that was what I was going to ask. Lastly, you know, 39. Am I right?
No,
38.
Don't put
38.
years on me, old man. Come on.
38.
Get enough stick downstairs, mate.
Another 90 minutes tonight. One of the older ones in the squad. What's the secret? How are you doing it? Is it that vegan diet?
Nah, I'm way off a vegan diet. I need a bit of good food in me. I've been probably a bit lucky, I've got to be honest, avoiding major injuries for the majority of my career, and then, you know, got one last year which we didn't quite get to the bottom of till quite late. But you know, once I got back, I felt really good. I was gutted. You know, listen, there's bigger things than Jobi McAnuff getting back on the pitch, but you know, having worked so hard, it was difficult. You know, so I just made sure I kept myself ticking over as best I can during lockdown. Drove the missus mad, was out every day. You know, just keeping myself going. I didn't want to put all that hard work to waste, and I've had a good pre-season, you know, and I feel good, man. It's just about, I suppose, managing the body. Of course, recovery at 38 is a little bit slower than it would be at 28. That's only natural. But hopefully, you know, from that point of view, we've got a good little system going on at the moment that seems to be working well. And, you know, it might mean that I miss the odd game every now and again. But listen, if I can get out there and make myself available for the majority of the games, you know, then it's up to Ross to pick his team as he sees fit. But again, for me, you know, after last year and having missed so much football, which was the first time in my career, you know, I'm just buzzing to be back around it and, you know, being able to be on the pitch and help contribute. You know, I didn't want to hang around just for the sake of it. You know, I'm only here because I feel I can still have an impact, and, you know, on and off the pitch. And it's great that I've been able to do that so far. But, you know, it's a long season, and, you know, I want that to continue.